It's kind of interesting. I had a lot of thoughts before I came here today, and a lot of them have been answered. But the thing that I get very frustrated with is that I know it works. I've tried it. I've seen it happen. And but it's like all of a sudden I'll go to sleep and wake up the next morning and a cloud takes over and I'm right by, sort of backsliding. I'm right back where I started from, and without even realizing it, and I'm going down the road and I'm feeling more and more miserable. And then all of a sudden, I'll say, well, what am I doing? When things were really good, how can you ever get to a point when things are really good and things are really going well that they'll stay that way?
The nice thing about what you've just acknowledged is that, let's say that you have intended a perfect life and are living it for a while, and then you have a little bit of that, what you are calling backsliding. And it happened first with attention to lack, but you didn't notice that. And so, because you didn't notice it, you kept doing it, and you didn't notice that either. And so, pretty soon you're talking to others about it, but you're not really noticing that either. And then you have a physical manifestation that gets your attention, and then you notice it. And we say, it really does not matter at what point you notice what you don't want. In the moment that you're aware that you're getting something you don't want, just start talking more about what you do want and why you want it. You can turn it around at any point. The answer to your question is, your question is, will I ever get to the point that I don't have any negative? We would say, no, not as long as you're here in this physical environment, because the negative is contrast, and contrast is part of the clarity that you are wanting from this environment. Will I ever get to the place where I'm dominantly joyful? Yes. Will I ever get to the point where I will be so sensitive to negative emotion that I will notice it in the early subtle stages so that I can turn it around in energy? Yes. Will I ever get to the point where I never have to live out another negative physical manifestation? Yes. In other words, when you reach the place that you are so much wanting to feel good that you are sensitive to all energy that you are flowing, and in the moment that you have a thought that is negative and therefore disallows the connection with who you are, you feel it and say, ooh, enough of that. What I want is this. Then what you will live is a life of only positive manifestation and only occasional negative emotion. When you get so good at feeling negative emotion that you head it off before it gets bigger and causes negative manifestation, then you are living the life that you've intended in this physical body. We've watched many of you who, by identifying how much you want this connection to non-physical energy, now you're hypersensitive when you're not. And so things that, in other words, sometimes we see Esther when she is hearing somebody or hearing of somebody saying something hurtful to another person, Esther feels as much pain as if that other person had taken a gun and shot the person dead. In other words, you get more sensitive to thought and energy than you ever have been before. But the big bonus to that is the more sensitive you are to thought and energy, the more you can mold and control the thought and energy before there is a physical manifestation.